Hello and welcome to V-Speed. This is the iRacing Fantasy National Series, the penultimate race here from ISM Raceway out here in the desert in Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to give you a little preview of the action you're going to see here tonight, but it will be an elimination race and only 4 drivers will advance. So let's check out what you're going to see here tonight and we'll get into the qualifying session afterwards.
Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Bring it back.
So that is a preview of what you're going to see here tonight from ISM as we're taking a look at Chad Ginningsman making his way out onto the racetrack to get his qualifying lap in. And of course tonight is an elimination race and we have 8 drivers in contention to move forward. One of them has already locked themselves in. But let's take a look at the playoff grid as it stands coming into this elimination race. Evan Longacre, after winning last week at Texas in dramatic fashion, his first win on the season also advances him to the final round in Homestead. He doesn't have to worry about where he finishes tonight, though he has the fastest time at the moment, really showing strength here in the second half of this season. And Dakota Jorgensen comes in almost essentially locked in on points. He has to have a very bad race. And somebody's going to have a very good race for him to get knocked out. Chris James comes in here third in points, 17 above the cut line, and Grayson Sullivan right there just 10 points above Chad Ginningsman, who's on the outside looking in. But Chad currently third on the qualifying grid, now knocked down to fourth. Chris James jumps up to the second spot. Jay Queen, I do not believe he is going to be racing tonight, so he's going to eliminate himself in doing so. Carl Dodson is also not here, and Rick Webb. So those 3 drivers going to be eliminated just by not showing up. So they had a shot if they could win to get in here, but not going to have that chance if they're not going to be here. But either way, going to be a good race. We've got really 4 drivers trying to squeeze into 3 spots, and it's going to get pretty intense out here. ISM Raceway, of course, located in Phoenix. Great racetrack, a very unique racetrack with its 4-turn configuration and the dog leg on the back straightaway. And this is actually the old configuration of the racetrack that we run here in iRacing. The actual new configuration that NASCAR runs in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series is inverted from this. So the start-finish line is at the center of the dog leg, but the start-finish line here, you can see it on the screen, is actually right down this straightaway. So that's what I've been used to, and that's what many of these drivers are used to running here, and it'll definitely shake things up when they go to the new configuration. Let's take a look with Jeffrey Meyer, who's making his lap around here at number 8 RCR machine. Or is it Junior Motorsports machine. He goes to second on the board, so great lap there. And you can see those Junior Motorsports machines are second, third, and fourth, just behind the 48 machine of Evan Longacre, and under a minute of qualifying left to go. Let's take a look at our weather tonight. 85-degree air temp and 95-degree track temp, so a little bit hot here in the desert, but not exceedingly so. We've seen hotter temps this season. And Dylan Canova, who won just a couple weeks ago, we'll see what he can do here on his hot lap. Oh, he loses it coming out of turn 4 on the out lap. Able to slow it up before the start-finish line, but he's not going to get a lap in due to that. So Canova going to be starting behind all of these qualifiers. And we did have 13 drivers qualify or put a lap time in. Everybody else going to be set in order of either practice time or points position. I'm not exactly sure how they have it set here, but qualifying comes to a close. Evan Longacre going to start on the pole here. Let's take a look at our starting grid so you can see where your favorite driver is rolling off here. Evan Longacre going to be starting on that top spot, so carrying over his momentum from last week at Texas. Obviously a lot of confidence now at the wheel for that driver, and he was definitely pumped up to get the win last week, taking the lead in the last corner from Cody Jordan. Was an intense battle up at the front. Jeffrey Meyer going to be rolling off in second place here, so great lap by him as well. On the second row, Chris James going to be rolling off in third, and Dakota Jorgensen starting in fourth. Those two teammates both looking to advance here tonight. Chad Genningsman on the outside looking in. He's rolling off fifth. Zach Adams starting in sixth position. Seventh is going to be Dalton Williamson. And reading the post on the National Series page, looks like Dalton has had some great runs and looking for a victory here, maybe to spoil the party. Take it from one of those playoff guys. Stephen Parks rolls off in the eighth position. Greg Klein going to be rolling off in ninth, and Kevin Roy rounds out the top 10. In 11th, it's Tyler White. In 12th, it's going to be Casey Flegel. 13th is Aaron Tyner. Cole Williams will roll off 14th. Brandon Maciejewski rolling off 15th. Jonathan Hernandez starting 16th. Jake Sylvia starting at 17th. And Dylan Canova rolling off in 18th. Jacob Shorba starting in the 19th position. He's filling in here tonight. Charles Hager going to be rolling off in 20th. Grayson Sullivan starting 19th or 21st in that number 19. Brian Pizzakemi starting in 22nd in that number 505. Roger Gregory rolling off in 23rd. Tim Rivers starting in 24th. Jeremy Ogle starting 25th. Cole Hooper starting 26th. Zachary Smith starting 27th. Hilton Young 28th. 29th is Joshua Schofield, and rounding out the top 30 is Craig Hawkins. And that is going to do it for our field here. 30 drivers at ISM Raceway tonight. Definitely going to be a good one. And we want to thank you for tuning in here. Shout out your favorite driver in the chat, or who you think is going to win tonight's race, and we'll try and follow along with them throughout the event. But who is going to lock themselves in? We've got 4 drivers in the field trying to take up the 3 remaining playoff positions in the championship round next week at Homestead. And these guys have raced all season for this opportunity. Evan Longacre at the front. He's going to be the one to get us going here on the outside. Jeffrey Meyer, green flag in the air. We're underway from ISM Raceway here in Phoenix, as we've got cars stacking up on the front straightaway. Somebody did not go. I got to see who that was. Maybe Hilton Young. Oh, no, that is Charles Hager. That 25 car, I think, has already blown an engine. Let's see what happened here. Somebody did not roll. Maybe Canova. Oh, the 39. Wow. Really slow on that start. And caution is out already anyways. Looks like maybe Dylan Canova right here as well. Also the 91 machine of Brandon Maciejewski. So chaos breaking out here in the early going. Let's see what happens. Looking on with, whoa! Brandon Maciejewski launched there on the front straightaway. And let's see what happened here to Brandon. This was atmospheric, I think. That's one way to put it. Wow. He ends up on all fours, but that car done for sure. And let's see what happened to Dylan Canova, who has struggled here in this opening sequence. I think he got punted going down into turn number 1. He was avoiding those cars that, yep, definitely got into it with Casey Flegel. Dylan able to hang on to it. Flegel able to continue as well, but holy cow, what a crash there for Brandon Maciejewski. Yeah, let's go to the nose cam. Or lack of nose cam now. There's contact coming out of turn 4, and he gets sent up into the air. And hope you're not wearing VR. That'll make you sick. He's going to be done for the race, and it looks like the top 16 all staying out. Cole Williams, the last of those drivers to do so. Everybody else brings it down the pit lane. Casey Flegel starting to get some damage repaired, but he is missing the nose on that race car. Dylan Canova also sitting here for an extended pit stop to get damage repaired. Looks like the 19 of Grayson Sullivan with issues. And let's not forget, Grayson coming in here, he is a contender. So we'll have to see how he can do after this wreck, but he comes in the 4th position, I believe, in points. Let's take a look at our points here. Yeah, he is the guy above the cut line, in early trouble here. Meanwhile, Chad Ginningsman up there in 5th position. And pace car lights are still on, but Ginningsman, he might be able to gain the points back right here in stage number 1. And speaking of stages, 25 laps is going to be the first stage. Lap 50 going to end the 2nd stage. And then we run to the finish here, just 100 laps in tonight's event. And we are working under our first caution. Evan Longacre, your leader here, he continues right where he left off at Texas, just taking the lap on, or the lead on the last lap of that race. And looks like he's gonna potentially elect the inside. Chris James waiting for him to make that decision. I think he'll jump now to the outside. And we want to thank you all for tuning in once again. If you haven't already, please cheer on your favorite driver. Let them know you're out here watching them. And we are going to bring up our ticker here so you can follow along with them. Evan Longacre going to get us going on this restart. He has full control of the field. Rolling through turns 3 and 4. We're going to be going green for the 2nd time now. As they work their way through turn number 4. Pace car makes that hard left onto the pit lane, and Longacre waiting to get him going. He gets him fired off now. Good restart as he jumps out in front of Chris James. And Chris James with 3 wins this season as he gets right to the back bumper now in turn number 1. But drifts up the racetrack along with Dakota Jorgensen. They both slide. And here comes Jeffrey Meyer down to the inside of his teammate. Almost 3 wide there through the dogleg. And the 4 of Zach Adams rolling that outside line. Looks like he might be able to make that work here, coming down the front straightaway. A little bit sideways out of the 4, but the 8 of Jeffrey Meyer not able to carry the momentum. Take it down into turn 1 again, though, side by side. A huge run there. He is going to clear Zach Adams. And here comes Chad Ginningsman now to the inside. Chad trying to get every stage point he can, racing it up for the 5th position. As Evan Longacre has stepped away now about 0.4 of a second, make that a half second. We've got Juniors Racing cheering on Chris James out here, and Chris running in that 2nd position, cutting it way down to the inside wall. With caution is out. 11 of Jeremy Ogle taking it behind the wall. Looks like the 13 of Hilton Young and the 19 of Grayson Sullivan also involved. Grayson with more damage. Let's take a look at what happened. And we're going to go to the nose cam. Looks like it happened up in front. I'm not sure, actually. Oh, Grayson just bouncing it off the wall. Looks like it broke that right front steering. He spins it around, and he tags the 11 of Jeremy Ogle. Yeah, Jeremy could not squeeze through the gap on the outside. Just not enough room there. And he decides to take it behind the wall, even though the car doesn't look too bad. Definitely going to have some damage. So he takes it behind the wall. He is out of the race, and we are down to 23 on the lead lap. Quite a few drivers not taking the green flag here, some of those being the race admins. And Evan Longacre going to remain on the racetrack as they roll now through turns 1 and 2. We are working caution number 2. And let's hear a word from a couple of our sponsors here tonight, Rapid Fired Pizza, and also Shorba's Racing Graphics. Still working under caution here. Pace car lights are still on. Let's hear a little bit about Shorba's Racing Graphics. Jacob Shorba, one of the league owners here, he runs his own paint scheme shop, Shorba's Racing Graphics. You can check them out on Facebook. We just put their info in the chat there. It might not be actually up to date, but he creates some awesome paint schemes. All these cars on the racetrack, he did a lot of them, and explains why it's such a good looking field out here. But go on over to Shorba's Racing Graphics on Facebook, see if you can get your own custom paint scheme. Jacob will definitely do them for an affordable price and does a great job, so appreciate them sponsoring here tonight. And also Rapid Fired Pizza for being on board all season here. Evan Longacre, that Rapid Fired Pizza machine, out in front. And he is looking to go back-to-back here in the last round before the championship round. So doing a great job after winning last week. He has currently led all the laps here. Chris James going to restart on the outside with him. And we will have to see what he can do to keep up, as Evan pretty much got away straight away off that last restart. And wait for the green flag. Back in the air now. We are underway once again. Chris James jumping straight down to the inside. Not sure if the admins are going to like that, as Chris James peeks it down low. The 48 shuts the door. They make it out of turn number 2 alive there. Back a little ways though. Jake Sylvia almost taking it 3 wide as he's on the back bumper of Kevin Roy, who actually doesn't have a back bumper. Now he goes to the inside and we are 3 wide. And 47 in the middle trying to hang on there, but looks like he's a little down on speed. And behind him, Chad Ginningsman in this mess in a dangerous position, and he pitted under the last caution. Trying to make his way back forward now into the 13th position, trying to take 12th away from Joshua Schofield, and he will do so headed into the corner, but the 01 powering back on the outside. Behind them, Aaron Tyner, the 60 Winn-Dixie machine. He drops in the line now. Oh, but Ginningsman gets into the 47, and he's going to get stacked up in there. Heavy contact. And Kevin Roy goes around. That brings out caution number 3 here in stage number 1. Let's go take a look. Kevin Roy, the 47 machine, was running just outside the top 10 here. Going down the front straightaway, cuts it down low. Ginningsman was diving in really hard, and Ginningsman getting slammed into by Cole Williams there, so he's gonna have damage on both ends of that race car. Punted, the 47 gets punted by the 42. Kevin Roy in bad shape here. That car didn't have a rear end, now it has even less, and he's got damage on all 4 corners now, so gonna be a tough one to run this one out. We'll see if he gets that damage fixed or takes it behind the wall here. Evan Longacre gonna remain on the racetrack though, probably a smart move, seeing as we are just getting short runs here and not really burning up the tires. Steve Parks brings it down the pit lane though, the IK9 Toyota Supra. He comes in from inside the top 10. After starting in the 8th position, he's going to lead a handful of drivers down. Chad Ginningsman here behind him. And to recap, we've had 3 cautions here in the first 15 laps. These guys having trouble staying off each other. It's been 3 wide a lot already. As 16 goes up for service here, they are going to work on that race car and try and beat the corners, the fenders out on it, get that thing back up to full speed. Once again, Evan Longacre has led the entire way. No lead changes yet, with cautions, breeding cautions here early on. Chris James, Dakota Jorgensen, Jeffrey Meyer, those junior motorsports machines all here behind Longacre, trying to make a statement to show that they are some of the guys to beat. Definitely some good setups in those race cars, starting up here in the top 5 and remaining there. As pace car lights are still on, let's go to a quick caution break here and we'll be right back. back to the racetrack. We're going to be going green here. Evan Longacre, Chris James on the front row. And closing in on the end of stage 1. Just a few laps here. Evan Longacre, good jump. Chris James going to go in line with him now. Goes to the inside, tries to get in there. Oh, and they stack it up a little bit. Almost contact between the teammates. Now the 9 of Dakota Jorgensen on the apron, trying to get back up to speed. These guys are not getting going here. 3 wide, 2 rows deep going into turn 3. Dylan Canova up high, trying to work his way around behind Dalton Williamson. And I think they make it out of the corner okay. They all do, and just a few laps remaining in the stage here. The 4 of Zach Adams in the center, in between Aaron Tyner and the 42 of Cole Williams. Tyner goes way up by the outside wall. The 4 right there next to the 42's door. And the 60 of Tyner gonna clear him. Zach Adams gonna drift up to the high line behind him. And at the front, Evan Longacre has not broken away this time. And the top 5 drivers have all been out here since the start of the race. And Dylan Canova, the first driver who has taken tires at any point here in the 6th position. You see starting to reel in Jorgensen and Williamson. Evan Longacre trying to hang on to this and win a stage and prevent any of these other playoff drivers from getting extra bonus points. The 48 of Longacre out in front here. He's got 2 to go. I believe at the completion of lap 25, they're going to throw the flag. We will have to see here, but they are all single file now for the top 10 positions. Longacre working that second groove through 3 and 4. Chris James not close enough. And now Longacre starting to pull away. As you can see, the 1 pushed a little hard out of the corner there. And now Longacre starting to stretch away, but Chris James really working the dog leg as much as he can. You can see him go down right next to the wall. Very unique feature of this racetrack is Jeffrey Meyer slips way up the track. Dakota Jorgensen now going to go on past here. Maybe a little bit of teammate communication to get some extra points, but that should end the stage. The caution is going to fly. Evan Longacre going to win your stage number 1. Started on the pole, and he's led every lap. Chris James 2nd, Dakota Jorgensen 3rd, Jeffrey Meyer 4th, Dalton Williamson 5th, Dylan Canova 6th, Greg Klein 7th, Cole Williams 8th, Aaron Tyner 9th, Tyler White rounds out the top 10 in stage number 1, all receiving bonus points. And Evan Longacre, a playoff point that he does not need at this point, because he is already locked into Homestead after that victory last week at Texas. And driver's probably going to get some much needed Goodyear Eagles on their race cars. See if anybody decides to stay out. Some drivers with less than 10 laps on the tires on the racetrack. We'll see if they kind of split decision here. It looks like we do have a driver who is going to stay out. Can't tell who that is. That may be Craig Hawkins, actually. Hawkins going to take the lucky dog and go back onto the lead lap. Cole Hooper, the only other driver 1 lap down. Jake Sylvia is on the racetrack. He's going to take a wave around here. No damage on the race car as far as I can tell, so maybe Jake just started on pit road and missed the first couple laps. But he is 3 laps down. I think he'll get one of those back. We see the number 4 machine of Zach Adams. Looks like he missed his box, and he's going to have to come back down here. Chris James going to win the battle off of pit road, though. He beats Evan Longacre out of there. So the lead going to change hands for the first time tonight. Chris James going to lead a lap here. And Zach Adams bringing it back down. He did not lead a lap through that sequence. But he's going to start at the tail end of the longest line, essentially. Going to be back in 18th position, I believe. So has a little bit of work to do, and that car seems pretty good. So he might be able to make his way back forward. But we will, if we get a nice longer run here, we'll probably interview one of these drivers during our next caution, which will be probably, well, hopefully at the end of stage 2 on lap 50. As right now, Chris James out in front, Evan Longacre second, Dakota Jorgensen third, Jeffrey Meyer fourth, and Dalton Williamson rounding out the top 5 at the moment. And if you are enjoying the action here tonight, consider getting your own iRacing National Series merch. The first 25 to use code FANTASY5 will save $5 on your purchase of $10 or more. And that's at the V-Speed merchandise shop. That's vspeedsim.com/shop. A portion of each sale will go directly into the league here and continue to fund their operations. But it also helps fund V-Speed. And if you like what you see here and you're enjoying it, also please consider following, subscribing, donating, whatever you want to do to show your appreciation for the drivers and for the broadcast here. And we want to thank you once again for tuning in. Looks like we got quite a few more viewers in here now. And going to be the start of stage number 2 for these guys. We're going to be going to lap 50. And that will end the stage. At that point, it'll be a run to the finish. Chris James, your leader. He gets him going. Green flag going to fly once again. Dakota Jorgensen, a great jump. And he's going to go to the second position. Evan Longacre going to have to try and fall in line here. And he'll cut down in front of Jeffrey Meyer. And we'll see what the 48's got to get back up there. Try and lead this thing. But he's got pressure from Jeffrey Meyer right there on his back bumper. Down through 3 and 4. Now the 48 working a little higher line. Going to try and get that second apex off the exit. Now he gets a great run up to the back bumper. He looks down low. And the 9 going to throw the block. The 48 not able to get there quite enough. Chris James starting to step away. Dalton Williamson try and make a move here on Jeffrey Meyer. 39 down low. Now involved with these guys, and we've got a battle a bit farther back. That's the 98 of Tim Rivers, the 51 of Zachary Smith, almost contact on the front straightaway. Hello, Blazer Pete, thanks for tuning in. We are a third of the way through this thing as Evan Longacre takes second place away from Dakota Jorgensen. And we'll see if he can charge back up there and recapture the lead. Car looks so good out of turn number 4. He just is able to cut it out of the turn, so lots of grip in that race car, and he is definitely closing in. That time by almost 2/10 faster, and you can see it visually. That gap is closed already. So the rapid fire pizza machine quick once again here tonight. He's looking for his second victory of the season and second in a row. This battle has not subsided. The 51 of Zachary Smith looks down low. The inside of Tyler White. They're going to be side by side out of turn number 2. The 51 coming up the racetrack. 93 going to have to ride a little bit higher through the dog leg. Roger Gregory battling it out with the 98 machine of Tim Rivers now. So a couple of groups of 3. Oh, as they make contact, the 93 of Tyler White. What happened here exactly. 51 coming up the racetrack. 93 gets loose. He bounces off of Zachary Smith, and then the 42 of Cole Williams got into the back of him, but they all continue on their way. It's Chris James out in front. We do have a caution. The 98 of Tim Rivers going around. That car stuck in the inside wall. He's unable to back it out of there. Let's go take a look at what happened with Tim. Racing up with the 38 of Roger Gregory in the 4 machine. You see the 93 kind of coming backwards. He comes up from the dog leg, makes contact with Gregory, and then that car just gets stuck in the inside wall. A hard impact for Tim Rivers here on the back straightaway. Absolutely glued to that wall. And he could not, I don't think he got going again. That is the impact. Very, very fast to stopped instantly, and I think Chris has been running basically by that inside wall there, Juniors Racing. So Tim Rivers is going to take it to pit lane here. He's a couple laps down already. Chris James out in front here after that caution, and 3/8 of the way through this point. Let's see if we talk with Jeffrey Meyer, if he's going to be in our chat here. Jeffrey Meyer, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, Jeffrey, we see the junior motorsports machines all pretty quick here tonight. Chris is in the lead. Your teammate there, Dakota Jorgensen, also up here in the top 5. And how are the cars here tonight? And you guys worked pretty hard on them to get ready for tonight's race?
I worked for a while on it, spent some time on it. Cars are either really tight or really loose, so it's hard to find that balance.
Yeah, is there any trick to getting by people here tonight, or are you working the dog leg pretty well, or just kind of running smooth for now and hoping for that second half of the race to go well for you?
Yeah, I'm just kind of riding here. Somebody wants to pressure me for a spot. That's more or less the only reason I've dropped back down to 6 was I just gave the guys some room to race.
And was there any kind of team communication or team orders there at the end of stage 1 for the 2 guys running up in the playoffs to get them a couple extra points?
No, I just overshot the corner, and I go, well, that benefited you.
Yeah, so unintentional team orders, we'll say.
Yep.
But you're running well out here. The car looks good, looks fast. Anybody you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go racing?
Give a shout out to Rapid Fire Pizza.
Awesome, Jeffrey. Well, thanks for taking some time with us, and good luck out there.
All right, thanks.
Jeffrey Meyer, the 8 machine. As the field's starting to double file up. He currently rides in the 6th position, but his teammates currently in 1st and 4th. So very strong performances by the junior motorsports machines. Evan Longacre started on the pole there, Andrews, and he led the entirety of the first stage. Lost the battle off pit road. He's currently in 2nd position after initially losing it seconds to Dakota Jorgensen. He was able to get it back, and we were about to go green here. Chris James on the inside, Evan Longacre on the outside. Chris James back on the throttle already, and once again, not a great restart for Evan, but he got a better one than last time for sure, as he's still alongside 2nd place. Now going to try and tuck it down low, but Dylan Canova right there. And now Evan just crosses over Dalton Williamson, and he will take 2nd position back, no problems at all. And you can see just how fast he is on the entrance to turn 3. And we've got a car sideways back there. Zach Adams. Oh, and the 01 of Josh Schofield, and caution is going to fly again. Zach Adams involved in this. Let's take a look at what happens to these guys. So looks like we were 3 wide. Chad Ginningsman down low. The 42 of Cole Williams way up the racetrack. He gets into Zach. and sends him for a slide. They get together with the 01. Schofield just unable to get through there. Really nowhere to go, I think. Let's go to the in-car cam with Joshua here. He's trying to slow up, tried to get underneath, didn't turn down quite enough, and the Ford machine of Zach Adams just ended up right there in front of him. But Josh Schofield and Zach Adams both going to bring it down the pit lane here, along with Hilton Young, Tyler White, and a handful of others. Chris James still hanging on to that top spot, and it's only going to be a couple laps to go once we get the green flag again. But to recap, 6 cautions here in the first 43 laps. And we do still have quite a few drivers on the lead lap. That's 17 in total. Roger Gregory getting the lucky dog here. Joshua Schofield now the last driver on the lead lap. But we're going to cut quickly to another commercial break, and we'll be right back with the green flag. Chris James, Evan Longacre once again, your front row. And we'll see if Evan can time this restart and maybe get the jump on Chris here. But Chris gets us going, same position. He got going the other time, so a little better restart for Evan. Looks like he'll be able to drop in front of Dylan Canova, possibly, but Canova dives it in there hard. 48's going to shut the door. The 39 gets on the apron a little bit to avoid him. And Evan Longacre right there on the back bumper of Chris James, trying to chase him down. Into turn number 3, he's only going to have a few laps to do it. Chris James with a little connection problem, and he hangs on to it for now. Lap 47 goes up here, just 4 laps to go in the stage. And Evan Longacre a little wide there, 1 and 2. He's been so much better in 3 and 4, though. That's where the strength of that race car is. Chris James just trying to hang on to it here, and he's going to run a defensive line, I'm sure. So I think I heard some contact a bit farther back. The 48 of Evan Longacre really trying to wring every ounce of racetrack he can out of it. Here comes Dylan Canova now to the inside of him. And Dalton Williamson right here behind these two, but that's going to allow Chris James to stretch out even farther. Longacre going to run the long way around the dog leg. They will remain side by side into turn 3. Sullivan made any kind of adjustments here in the last run, but not as strong here in the second spot. Still holding on to it. Dylan Canova down low into turn 1. Real hard on the brakes between those two. Now Evan with the jump out of the corner. Trying to power it up once again around the dog leg. He's got a big advantage in straightaway speed now. Jeffrey Meyer looks down low on Dalton, or Dakota Jorgensen. Dalton Williamson right here between these groups of two. Lap 50 going up on the board. Chris James in the lead. Evan Longacre now clears Dylan Canova, but he is over a half-second back, and he's not going to have time as now he goes real wide out of turn 2 again. Here comes Canova. Dylan Canova, who had issues on the first couple laps of the race, has found his way back towards the front, and after winning a couple weeks ago, he's battling with last week's winner, and they are side by side at the line. Chris James wins the stage. Canova going to come home third, and Evan Longacre going to hang on to the second spot. So Chris James wins the stage. Evan Longacre second. Canova third there. Dalton Williamson fourth. Stephen Parks up to the 5th position. Great job by him. In 6th, it's Jeffrey Meyer. 7th, Dakota Jorgensen losing a few spots there. Chad Ginningsman now into the 8th spot. Aaron Tyner 9th, and Greg Klein in the 10th position. Grayson Sullivan is back on the racetrack here. He sat on pit road for 20 minutes, and he came in 10 points above Chad Ginningsman. Currently would be knocked out, assuming nothing happens to Chad Ginningsman. But Chad, he does have to finish decently well here. He has to gain 10 points. Or actually 11 points to beat out Grayson Sullivan. And right now he is doing that. He got a couple stage points. Definitely going to help his case. Chris James going to lead the field down the pit lane. We'll see if anybody decides to stay out here. Just some lap cars remaining on the racetrack. Zach Adams will actually stay out there and try and lead some laps potentially. He's got 9 laps on the tires, pitted under our last caution there. A little bit of damage on the left side of that race car though. And past halfway, who's your favorite driver? Who do you think's gonna win? Throw their name in the chat there and we'll let them know you're cheering them on. Let's see if we get a word in with Dylan Canova, though, now that they are off the pit lane. Dylan Canova, this is Adam, that makes me booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Adam, I got you.
Well, Dylan, we saw you had a kind of a rough start to this race, but you charged up through the pack and racing it up with the leaders there. How's the race car feel for you here now going into the second half of the race?
It's feeling real good, actually. I thought after the start of the race it was going to be a long night, but cars are really coming around, and as the tires get some wear into them, it really seems to come alive.
Yeah, and you got pretty heavy rear end damage, but do you think it's affecting you in any way? Or have we not really had a long run, long enough for you to know that?
I don't think we really had a long enough run to know it. I think it's kind of helping it maybe a little on the short run, a little less downforce, letting the car kind of rotate a little bit better. But we'll see as the run goes on. If we get a 50-lap run here, it might be a little interesting.
Yeah, and it's been a kind of a race of attrition here in the first half. And you think that's just a result of the track temps being the way they are, and also the ability to use the dog leg down there?
Yeah, it's a little warm. Track's kind of cooling off now, it seems, so hopefully it gets a little bit better. But coming from all the 1.5 mile tracks we've had in the road course, it's a little bit different than what we've been running lately, so that may add to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique racetrack, but looks like you guys are going to be going green here the next time by. So any quick shout-outs before we let you go racing?
Yeah, got to shout out Brandon for spotting for me and getting this car dialed in throughout the race, and AOD Racing, so we'll see what happens here.
Awesome, Dylan. Good luck there, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Thank you, Adam.
It's Dylan Canova, the number 39 machine, RSS Racing. And he won a couple weeks ago at Kansas. Finally got the monkey off his back. Had been running so well, just had not been able to close it out. Captured the win over there, and he's been a contender week in and week out. And currently restarting in the 4th position. Chris James out front. Zach Adams did take it to pit lane. Evan Longacre going to try and time it here to not get the jump. Dalton Williamson down low. Be alongside of him with the 39. Dylan Canova giving Longacre a huge push down the straightaway. And we'll see what Evan can do here on the first couple turns. First lap, he's been so strong out of the gate. And you can see it right there, just powers around those guys. Jeffrey Meyer kind of washing up the track in front of his teammate Dakota Jorgensen, who's battling it out with Steven Parks side by side now for the 5th and 6th positions. 6th and 7th rather, and 66 really checks it up there though. Cole Williams closing in behind him. Well, at front, Evan Longacre, Dylan Canova, and Chris James have broken away. As Jeffrey Meyer and Dalton Williamson race it out for 4th and 5th. Longacre is there now. He's at the back bumper. As they head into turn number 1, Chris James with the advantage. A little bit wide out of turn number 2. Here comes the 48. Gonna look down low, down through the dog leg he goes, side by side. Down the back straightaway, and caution gonna fly. 16 of Chad Ginningsman. That car looks very hurt. And that is not good for him. He was in position to advance where he was running. But let's take a look at what happened here to Chad. See if he's going to be able to... He was racing up back here, I think just inside the top 10. Gets tagged by the 12 of Greg Klein and then slammed into by the 51 machine of Zachary Smith and smacks the outside wall with the driver's side door. Gets it down here onto the apron and spins it back around, so he will be able to continue. Heavy damage to the left side of that race car. And that is caution number 8 here on lap 58. And thank you there, Juniors Racing. Looks like I accidentally adjusted it down, so gonna bump that back up. Appreciate you letting me know. 3 lead changes at this point. Chris James out in front. He is going to stay on the racetrack in front of Evan Longacre, who rides in the 2nd position. Dylan Canova in 3rd. Jeffrey Meyer in 4th. But it has been a rough one here to conclude this round of 8, and once again, this is the grid as we came in here tonight. Evan Longacre is locked into Homestead, and then the next 3 spots are up for grabs, but Jay Queen, Carl Dodson, and Rick Webb did not show up tonight, so they are going to be eliminated. Chad Ginningsman just involved in that incident, still sitting on the pit lane. He's waiting to get rolling here. And we'll see if he gets lapped or not. Probably going to want to try and stay on the lead lap. But he's kind of close. There goes the pace car, so he's going to go a lap down. So Chad Ginningsman now a lap down in 19th position. Grayson Sullivan, who is above the cut line, he is also on pit lane, 28 laps off the lead in 23rd position. But he can make up a few spots here in just a handful of laps, so he is looking to gain as many points as possible and just run this thing out, as it's really his only shot into the playoffs to do so. Meanwhile, Chris James capturing some really solid stage points. I think he is all but locked in here Same goes for Dakota Jorgensen, who came in well above the cut line. But we want to thank you for tuning in once again. This is V-Speed. My name is Adam Baker. I'm the commentator here tonight, and we are live on Twitch at V-Speed Sim. If you're enjoying the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. It really helps to allow us to bring you great racing content each and every week. And we post race replays over on YouTube about a week after they go live here, so you can check out last week's event at Texas. You can also find us on Facebook, where we announce each and every race before we go live. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, where we post those same announcements, as well as some on-location reporting and other announcements such as new merchandise and special events. But the field working through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Chris James, Evan Longacre on the front row, as it has been every time. Evan needs to time one of these a little bit better. Looks like maybe that time he did, but Dylan Canova also got a good launch here. So Evan going to try and hang on to second. He goes door to door with the 39, and Dylan Canova going to take over second position. He's going to set his sights on Chris James, who got tight out of turn 2. And he is now going to try and work the outside lane. Oh, contact! And Canova into the wall. And he's trying to hang on to it. They're all sliding past him. Nobody hits him. What a job by the field to stay off of him. But that is another caution on the racetrack. Going down into the corner, Evan Longacre just gets in there really hard. A little contact with the 39. Started to send him around. Jeffrey Meyer just barely escaped. What a job by Jeffrey. Let's see just how close this was. Just inches there, maybe even a little brush of contact with the right rear. And I think also the 93 of Tyler White just squeezed past there. Wow. Let's go to the nose cam on that one. Holy cow, Tyler was completely off the throttle there, turning as hard as he could. Jeffrey Meyer, let's go to his view. Wow, just right next to him. Let's go to the right rear view. Yep. Oh, a little crinkle there, so they did make contact, but not enough to send him around, and great job by Jeffrey to hang on to that race car. And that promotes Steven Parks up to the 4th position, and he has fresher tires than the top 3, so possibly some strategy could come into play here. Not a lot of green flag laps on the tires tonight. Let's look at the recap once again. 9 cautions so far and 3 lead changes. All of those between Chris James and Zach York and Evan Longacre. Zach Adams. Actually, he did not lead any laps, so he's been out front through the pit cycles, but just, I guess, not long enough to get to the start-finish line first. But he finds himself in the 9th position. Jake Sylvia now back on the lead lap, so clean race car. I believe he started from pit lane and was 3 laps down, now back on the lead lap. So good job by Jake to ride this thing out. Chad Ginningsman back on the pit lane. He's on the lead lap once again in the 17th spot, continuing to get damage repaired. And we'll have to see where he comes out. Dylan Canova, though, sitting on pit lane as well. Hilton Young continuing to limp that car around the racetrack. Kevin Roy is still running out here, 16 laps down, and Grayson Sullivan in 21st. He has gained quite a few positions by just running laps out here. And that could be the difference between making it in and not advancing to the championship round. So Kingsman not going to go another lap down. He does beat the pace car off. Canova also going to come out in front of the pace car, but they're going too wide. Yeah, and let's go to the in-car cam with Chris James for this restart. As they are still pacing behind that iRacing Ford Mustang. Chris James has led 38 laps here. And it looks like Evan Longacre took it down pit lane the last lap, so he's back at 19th. That's an unusual choice here. Maybe just deciding that's the last pit stop he's going to have, but Chris James gets him going here on this restart down through turns 1 and 2. The 66 of Stephen Parks right there behind him now into the second position. He looks down low on Dakota Jorgensen. They go side by side through 3 and 4. Oh, we've got contact. Zach Adams going around again. They swing it down to the inside. The 4 and the 01 both have been involved in quite a bit here tonight. Let's see what happened with Zach. As he had the 51 machine of Zachary Smith behind him. And I think they made a little contact. He slides down the corner. Roger Gregory able to avoid him, but the 01 unable to do so. And out in front, Chris James hanging on by a thread. Stephen Parks behind him with fresher tires. And just hearing that Evan Longacre with an EOL, he did take it down pit lane, so he's going to have fresher tires, but only up to the 15th position at the moment. Zach Adams taking it behind the wall here. He has called it a race, and that is going to help out Grayson Sullivan. Chad Genningsman up to 16th, so he is moving forward as well. Let's see how Evan's doing back here in that 48 rapid-fired pizza machine. He goes around Cole Hooper there to move up to 14th. Oh, and contact up in front of him. You see the 51, the 93. And he's able to get through it, but caution gonna fly. Zachary Smith involved in this one. Let's go take a look. Just getting word from race control on the playoff implications here, but the 51, the 93 were 3 wide going into the corner, and you just see all that contact headed in there. They just all kind of converged in the same spot. 51 didn't give enough room for the 12 to come off the racetrack. The 38 of Roger Gregory couldn't avoid this one like he could the previous one there in turn 3, but this has been a massive trouble area for these guys tonight. And a few drivers involved in this and probably going to be done for the evening. But Chad Genningsman, just hearing from our race admin tonight, he needs to finish 8 or more spots in front of Grayson Sullivan. Grayson would win the tiebreaker, and currently the gap is 8 points, with Chad getting some stage points there in stage number 2. And he continues to ride out here. It looks like Grayson Sullivan, if his car will make it to the end, he could potentially finish in the 19th position. So assuming he can drive it out, Kevin Roy would have to take it behind the wall to do so. So Grayson looking at a top 20 here either way, with Zach Adams behind the wall. But Chris James out in front still, and Stephen Parks can be restarting in second. But let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, Rapid Fired Pizza. Back on the racetrack. If you're just joining us, this is the iRacing Fantasy National Series. Live tonight from ISM Raceway here in Phoenix, Arizona. This is the second to last race here, and it is an elimination race for 8 drivers who came into the event tonight. Evan Longacre has already advanced to Homestead, so he doesn't have anything to worry about. He's been running very well, actually started on the pole, but trying to work his way back through the field now after an EOL from the last caution. Chris James here trying to lock himself in with a victory, but it's pretty much locked in otherwise based on points. Stephen Parks going to be on his outside here. And the situation we're looking at so far, Chad Ginningsman with heavy damage on his car, he's gotten a couple points, and he's just 8 points below the cut line. Grayson Sullivan has already been involved heavily here. He's 28 laps down, and he is back in 21st. So Chad needs to get enough positions to advance, but the one of Chris James, a big restart there. He's going to jump way out in front of Dalton Williamson and Stephen Parks. Parks trying to run the high line there alongside Dakota Jorgensen. They go door to door through the dog leg down into turn number 3. The 8 of Jeffrey Meyer right there in the picture. Dylan Canova has found his way back to the front after getting caught up with Evan Longacre, and Evan is right there behind him, as now they get split up by the 23 of Jake Sylvia, who was 3 laps down. Oh, in contact, Jeffrey Meyer slams the wall. The 23, oh, the 39 goes around, the 51 around. And we are back under caution. What happened here? The 8 machine down low, I think, just got shoved into the corner. Trying to get a better view of it. He gets pushed in there by Canova. Tap, he goes up into 23. They both slam the wall. The 8 actually up on 2 wheels. The 23 involved here. And then Dylan Canova, I think he got a little bump from behind from Cole Williams. Yeah, and just 39 goes around, 51 gets slammed into from behind as well. So Zachary Smith gets tapped out of the way by Cole Hooper. And the 14 just unable to avoid him. And the 19 of Grayson Sullivan just sneaking through there. I think Chad Ginningsman also made it through. Let's see what happened to Chad here, looking out the helmet cam. See those cars all up on the wall there. He approaches it, slows way up. No problems for Chad, as he needs about 2 or 3 more spots, and he would make it in. And he's going to bring it down pit lane and continue to get repairs done on that race car. Cole Williams is going to stay out, along with Aaron Tyner, Cole Hooper, and Greg Klein. So a couple drivers involved in that last one are electing to stay out on the racetrack. Chris James wins the battle off of pit road. Stephen Parks will come out second. Dalton Williams in third. Evan Longacre in fourth off the pit lane. We'll see if these guys remain on the racetrack, and they will. 19 of Grayson Sullivan trying to get another lap back here, but he is not going to be able to do so with those leaders there in front of him. To recap, that's caution number 11. We've had the 4 lead changes now with Cole Williams, basically your first new leader in a long time. Chris James have led since the start of stage number 2. And now Cole Williams takes over here. But definitely been a race of attrition. The track has started to cool down, so there should be plenty of grip in these race cars, but I think these guys just pushing the limits a little bit too much. Pushing on each other a little bit too much here. And thank you, I'm Drifty, for following. Thanks for tuning in here and supporting us tonight. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Working caution number 11, pace car lights will go off. We'll have under 20 to go. When we take the green flag once again, your top contenders in tonight's race is Chris James in 5th position and Evan Longacre in 8th. Those two have led all the laps here so far, besides Cole Williams, the last few here. Some fast race cars in the mid-pack, though, and Chad Ginningsman finds himself in 10th position, which would be good enough to advance. He really just needs to finish, I think, about 12th or better. Seeing as Grayson Sullivan in the 21st position. Looks like he might be able to gain one more spot and finish in 20th. But it's going to be close. At the front, though, Cole Williams going to be leading the field here. Aaron Tyner on the outside. Pace car takes down pit lane. Williams going to try and time this well. He gets a good restart here. Behind him, Cole Hooper with no nose on that race car, stacking up the inside line. He goes out of the way. And 3 wide into turn number 1. That probably isn't going to work. The 12 of Greg Klein up the racetrack. The 48 of Evan Longacre trying to shoot the gap here with Stephen Parks up in front of him. The 48 up high now, 3 wide, down into turn 3. Longacre able to clear. Dalton Williamson down on the apron, trying to get around Cole Hooper, who is just dropping like a rock with no nose on the race car. And a few race cars out there looking like modifieds, but at the front, Cole Williams is pulled away to a 1-second lead. Chris James now trying to make the pass to go to 2nd, and he's got Evan Longacre right there on the back bumper, and now looking to go 3 wide. The 48 will tuck back in line here wisely as they make their way around Aaron Tyner, who's on older tires now. But the 48 of Longacre getting caught up next to him. They race side by side down into turn 1. The 60 a little bit sideways on turn entry, and the 48 did not get the best run. He slips up in front of Tyner. Here comes Dalton Williamson to the inside, looking to go to 3rd, and we've got contact on the back straightaway. The 66 of Stephen Parks going around in another caution on the racetrack. And let's see what happened here. He was racing with the 9 of Jorgensen. Came down across the nose there, and gets turned around, able to hang on to it. But he will drop to the back of the pack here. That only benefits Chad Ginningsman, who moves up to the 7th spot. Grayson Sullivan about 12 laps away from gaining a position. And the best he can do at this point is going to be in the 20th spot. So Grayson just hoping for something to happen to Ginningsman, I'm sure. We're hoping that there could be a bigger wreck and he might be able to advance. I'm just not sure if it's going to be possible for him here. He's got so much damage, and the pit strategies are so mixed up front. Cole Williams is going to stay out here, and he will lead a few more laps. But he's going to have Chris James there right behind him, Dalton Williamson, and Evan Longacre as well. So that is too bad to hear. John Hunter Nemechek getting wrecked in the real race. But he's running triple duty, and pretty cool thing. He and his dad, Joe Nemechek, also running triple duty here this weekend. I think that's the first ever in NASCAR history, a father-son duo running triple duty on the same weekend. And I have had the pleasure to work with those guys one weekend. It was actually last year up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. For the truck race, I was up there with V-Speed teammate Ryan Gemmel, who was actually working up in the spotter stand. I got to go up in the spotter stand a little bit, got to work in the garage, and great experience, some awesome people there at Nemco Motorsports. and really appreciated the opportunity to do that. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime thing, I think, to be able to hang out there. And I actually got to spot about 5 laps for Joe before mechanical problem brought him to the pit lane, but was a fun time up there. First time at that track. Beautiful facility and a really cool racetrack, and just kind of in the middle of nowhere in Canada. You would never really expect it. But right now, Cole Williams trying to steal a victory away from these playoff drivers, and he is in the lead. Started in 14th. He's going to be leading about 10 laps here, and think we'll get the one to go at the line this time. And going to be just over 10 to go in the race. As pace car lights do shut off, Cole Williams going to be on the inside here. Chris James going to jump up on his outside. Dalton Williamson, Evan Longacre, row 2. Third row is going to be Aaron Tyner and Dakota Jorgensen. And it could get pretty chaotic here. I mean, it's already been chaotic to start, but it's crunch time and a couple drivers trying to get as many points as they can. I think basically everybody is locked in except for Chad Ginningsman and Grayson Sullivan. Those two bouncing right around the cut line. Going to be very, very close between them. Cole Williams going to have control of this restart. Field rolling through turn number 4 here. We'll get the green flag, and lap 89 is going to go on the board. Green flag back in the air. Cole Williams gets him going. He jumps up in front of Chris James. Dalton Williamson now looks to the inside of the one machine, but no room to work there as Cole Williams now down low. Chris James right on the back bumper, giving him a shove out of turn number 2. The 42 going to slide down through the dog leg, and he's going to throw the block on Chris James. Now going into turn 3. Caution flying once again, the 66 of Stephen Parks. Going around in the dog leg once again. Let's see what happened. Racing up next to Josh Schofield, as well as the 93 of Tyler White. Hilton Young in the middle. They were 4 wide, and that was not going to work. Hilton Young just turns right into him, and Steven goes for about the same spin cycle he went for just a handful of laps ago. So no more damage really on that race car. And Chad Ginningsman's probably loving this. With the damage on that race car, he's somehow found himself in 6th position. He would definitely advance at this point where he is running, so he's hoping for not too many green flag laps, I'm sure. And another quick recap, that is caution number 13. Still just 4 lead changes, and Cole Williams leading the field. Well, we want to give a shout out to Shorba's Racing Graphics for everything they do for the league here. You can find them over on Facebook, Shorba's Racing Graphics. Let's see if this worked. It did. You get your own custom paint scheme from them. A lot of the cars on track here running paint schemes made by Jacob Shorba, and awesome schemes, awesome prices. So head on over there if you're looking for a custom scheme. And appreciate Jacob for sponsoring the series here, along with Rapid Fired Pizza. And let's hear another quick word from them. we are going to cut back in through that commercial break. The pace cars lights are off. We're working down into turn number 3 here. Cole Williams and Chris James on the front row. Once again, it's the 2 of Dalton Williamson, the 48 of Evan Longacre, and then Dakota Jorgensen and Chad Ginningsman now in row number 3. Up at the front though, Chris James does not have control of the restart. Cole Williams does, and he gets him going here out of turn 4. Great jump, and I think they are stacking it up back there. Big mess. The mid-pack, the green flag remains out. Chris James now under pressure from the 2 machine of Dalton Williamson, and the 42 got about as good of a restart as he could. Now out in front by about 2 or 3 car lengths. Down into turn number 3, he swings it way wide. The 1 dives it hard in there. He's gonna back him up big time. Try and get a good run off the exit here. Now side by side for second, Dalton Williamson got a great exit. And lap 95 up on the board. The 1 of Chris James really diving it in hard. He's trying to wring every ounce of speed that he can out of it, but he goes way wide. That's going to cost him second. Here goes Dalton Williamson. Thank you, Fresh Cap, for the follow. So move Dalton Williamson to second. Here comes Evan Longacre now into the 3rd position as he completes the pass. No, the 1 machine of Chris James hanging tough there on the outside. And 5 to go here as Evan Longacre dives it into the corner. He'll slide up in front of Chris James. And Dylan Canova now to the inside of Chris James. And so Cole Williams able to hang on here for a good long time. He's got older tires than anybody else. And somehow still staying up in the front. But he's got heavy pressure now. 4 to go. Dalton Williamson is there. It's Williams and Williamson as they head into turn number 3. The 42 working about a half groove higher as he gets maybe a little tap there from Dalton Williamson. Cole Williams racing for his life, trying to get away. Still nose to tail, but caution back out on the speedway. The 93 of Tyler White. And that is going to send us to overtime. Let's take a look. Down through the corner here. He's racing behind Roger Gregory. The 01 of Schofield up by the wall. The 93 just loses it all on his own. And spins it around here on the front straightaway. Well off the pace when those other drivers came by. That was why they threw the caution. But Cole Williams able to hang on here. Now he has a different challenger in second position. Dalton Williamson. Evan Longacre is going to be 3rd. I'm just trying to see what Cole Williams' record is here. Let's see here. He does have a win this season, so Cole looking for win number 2. This will be interesting for sure. And we want to thank you all for tuning in to V-Speed here tonight. iRacing Fantasy National Series penultimate race here from ISM Raceway. And a lot on the line for a few drivers. Grayson Sullivan came in above the cut line. He's back in 20th position. And it's possible he could gain some spots, I think, with Jake Sylvia out of the race. If we get a couple more of these green-white checkers, these overtimes, he might be able to complete enough laps to actually get up there and pass Jake. But Jeffrey Meyer also on the pit lane. He is 21 laps down. And he's been sitting on pit lane for 17 minutes. So wasn't out of this thing early enough for Grayson to get up there and challenge him for a spot. Meanwhile, at the front, Cole Williams, your leader. And pace car lights remain on. as we work under caution number 14 here in this 100-lap race. We came in with 30 drivers. A few of those were the race admins, so they did not start, but we started with 27, and we are down to 16 on the lead lap, and only 19 left in the race, so we've lost 8 drivers completely. And we should be getting the 1 to go next time, and this could determine the season for a couple drivers depending on how it goes. Chad Genningsman here in the 8th position, looking for everything that he can get. Currently in that 8th spot, and Grayson Sullivan has gotten everything back that he could, currently riding in 20th. And we'll have to see if they continue to count laps here for the drivers who are out of it in front of him. I'm not sure if they count laps down after the overtime mark, so. Pace car lights are off. We're gonna be going green here. Cole Williams, Dalton Williamson on the front row. The 01 machine down there slams into that blue cone, and I don't know what the blue cone did to him, but it's obviously not happy. Down into turns 3 and 4. Pace car gonna make that hard left down onto the pit lane. 42 of Williams trying to get those tires cleaned off here, approaching the restart. He'll have the advantage down low, and he'll get him going here. It was wiggling him and then just took off, and he will jump out in front now, 2 or 3 car lengths in front of Dalton Williamson. And Evan Longacre gonna hang on to 3rd, but he's racing it up side by side with Dylan Canova. Almost contact. Here comes Chris James now. Going to be 3 wide down through the dogleg. Longacre backs up behind Canova. And if we get the white flag, it's all over. No matter what we get after that. Cole Williams out in front trying to get there. He's got Dalton Williamson right on the back bumper. Oh, pushing him down the straightaway. The 42 throwing a block there down into turn number 1. Dalton Williamson with the shove there through turns 1 and 2. He's going to get underneath him down the back straightaway. And this is where the 42 might have some issues. Canova right there behind him. They go side by side into 3 and 4. Williamson not quite good enough down low, I don't think. Cole Williams going to hang on here out of turn number 4. He's going to win at ISM. 2nd place, Dalton Williamson. 3rd, Dylan Canova. And a look at the playoffs. Chad Genningsman comes home 8th. Grayson Sullivan back here in 20th. I believe he is going to come up just a little bit short. And just a very unlucky break early on for Grayson. But your winner here tonight, Cole Williams. A great run by him. Great decision to stay out late. And he leads the final 27 laps, hanging on to it over Dalton Williamson. So great job there by Cole Williams. Let's see if we can get a word in with these guys straight away and potentially talk to our playoff drivers. Or I think we do have, no, we don't have any playoff drivers here in the top 3. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Let's wait for these guys to get in here and get them prepared. And we are going to bring up our winner now, Cole Williams. This is Adam, the V-Speed booth. Sorry to interrupt you there, but good win, man. What was going into that decision there to stay out on the racetrack and hold on to it?
You know, it was just kind of a faith of trust there. We didn't really know if the car was going to be able to do good there, and we was able to hang on. I just got to thank Dalton for giving me room there. I didn't know if we was going to go 3 wide or get doored, but he gave me room and ended up pulling it off for the win. So I can't thank him enough for right driving me clean, and it was fun. Yeah,
it was a heck of a battle there. You two were fighting it out, and Dylan Canova closed into your back bumper, but ultimately you hung on to it there. And, you know, we didn't see a whole lot from you in the beginning. You got caught up in a couple incidents, and we're kind of, I think, mid-pack. But did you change anything there in the later stages of the race? You adjust the car at all, or were you just pushing as hard as you could?
Well, I wasn't actually planning to run this race. I came in at the last second, didn't qualify, get any practice laps or anything, so I didn't have a setup either. So I put on my Richmond setup actually that I won a few races back with. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start with this and kind of tweak from there. And every caution we got, we kept making adjustments and it kept making it better. And we still weren't the greatest car there, but with our pit strategy, ended up putting us out front and gave us the opportunity to win it. So I think it was just kind of everything aligned there and we ended up pulling it off. So I'm tickled to death with the win. I've never won with the Xfinity car at Phoenix, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah, and you put on a good show, holding off those guys who were on fresher tires and some good breaks with the cautions. I'm sure it was probably nice to not have to race them as much under green, but even when it came down to that run at the end, you held on to it. So you take a victory away from the playoff drivers, and we head to the finale next week at Homestead. What are your thoughts on going out there?
Oh, for sure. The main focus there is Evan Longacre. He's one of the final four, and he's my team driver. So we're gonna work all week, try to get him a really good setup, and hopefully give him a shot at the championship. So I definitely have confidence that we have a really good group of guys to be able to put something together for him, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Evan started off great here tonight. Didn't probably get the finish that I think that race car necessarily deserved, but you guys there have been putting on a show in the Chip Ganassi machine. So anybody you want to give a shout out to that made tonight's victory possible?
Basically, just gotta thank Brandon and Evan for giving me this opportunity to run this car, and TJ for allowing me to sub for him. So prayers go out for him. I know he's not in the best of shape right now, and hopefully he gets in better shape and gets back in the car. But other than that, thank everyone for this opportunity. Thank you for putting on this broadcast, and Jacob for the league, and go on to Homestead.
Awesome, Cole. Well, congratulations once again. Started in 14th. You lead 27 laps and hang on to it there at the end, putting on a great show for us. So go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you then.
Yep, appreciate it.
That was Cole Williams, the winner of tonight's event here at ISM. And let's go to second place finisher Dalton Williamson. We'll see if he is in here. He is. Dalton Williamson, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Dalton, you gave it all you had there at the end, it looked like, and just came up a little bit short underneath Cole. But you had a good, solid car. How did the race go for you? Or how did you feel the race went for you here tonight?
Great, to be honest. I wish I would have had a little looser car, a little tight. But all in all, I feel like I had a pretty good night.
Yeah, and it was a crazy battle there at the end with you and Cole and Dylan Canova coming in the final corner. Were you just trying to race him as clean as possible there? Didn't plan on giving him the bump or anything, or you just weren't able to get quite to him?
No, I didn't want to get into him, man. I was trying to race clean. I didn't want to take somebody out or bump somebody up out the way. Not want to do that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure. And you had the run down low on the back straightaway, just not quite enough when you sailed it into turn 3. But a nice solid run for you here. Started 7th. You didn't actually get to the front at any point, but you were right there knocking on the door quite a few times. So we head to Homestead next week for the finale. And what's your thought on going out there?
One of my favorite tracks, so I feel like I'll have a pretty strong car.
Cool, and we'll see if you can follow up on this runner-up here tonight. But until then, anybody you want to give a shout-out to that made tonight's second-place finish possible?
You guys for broadcasting, Rapid Fire Pizza, Dalton Williamson Motorsports, Jacob, and all the admin that help keep this league real organized, keep going. It's a great league to run, and I have more fun every time I come in here and run with these guys.
Awesome, Dalton. Congratulations on the second-place run here tonight, and go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Homestead.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, and that was Dalton Williamson. I got his first and last name mixed up there a little bit, but we do pull in Dylan Canova now. Dylan, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Adam.
Well, Dylan, it didn't go all your way here tonight. Somehow you still managed to claw your way back to a third-place finish, and you were knocking on the door. But kind of give us a rundown of what happened there after we interviewed you the first time.
Yeah, I don't know if Evan just misjudged or what, but that was all history, and we talked it out. I thought we had something for Chris there on the outside. It just didn't go our way. So had to call back from that, and then I did not mean to get into jeopardy. Sorry to him. I just misjudged it, and we were so close there, 2-2, and I don't know if it would have even mattered because as soon as we touched, it was a couple of seconds after I got turned myself. But the able to call back up there to a third was pretty nice. I think we had something there for the win, and just ran out of laps, and the restarts were a little wonky there. So
Yeah, definitely a crazy race tonight. Lots of chaos mid-pack and back, and even at the front at various points. So nowhere was safe, and you got knocked around, I think, every which way, and you end up coming back to third. So it just goes to show you had a good race car. And we head to Homestead next week, and you're looking to continue your solid run, out there.
yeah, I love Homestead. Probably one of my favorite tracks that the B cars go to. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be an interesting one, and I definitely think we're going to have a shot.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try and play championship spoiler and all those guys.
Yeah, you've been incredibly strong here the last, basically the last couple months, I think. You got the win at Kansas, a few weeks ago, and just been so strong. Maybe not the best luck in the world, but the cars have really been performing. You've been performing, and once again, a third place here tonight. So anybody you want to give a shout out to that made tonight's run possible?
Yeah, gotta give a big shout out to Brandon, helped me get up there and keeping me calm when things weren't going our way. Great spotter, couldn't ask for a better spotter. Gotta thank RSS Racing and Roger and Tyler for sticking it out there. I know they didn't have the best luck, but it's nice to have a full team running. And gotta thank AOD Racing, a bunch of guys back there help, and 4 Paws Only, and it was fun. You, Adam, Evan with Rapid Fire Pizza. I really think we could have won that one, and I did not expect it going in.
Yeah, and you put on a great show coming back and forth through the field tonight. So definitely earned this third place finish, and go celebrate. We'll catch up with you at Homestead.
Thank you, Adam.
That was your third place finisher, Dylan Canova. But your winner here tonight, once again, Cole Williams. He steals it away from the playoff drivers, and he is going to deny any of them from locking themselves in. But let's go to our results, and we can talk a bit more about the points scenario going into Homestead. Cole Williams takes the victory here tonight. A caution-filled race with 14 cautions and only 4 lead changes. With such a limited green flag racing, it was very tough to get a pass at the front. Dalton Williamson comes up a little short there in second. Dylan Canova finishes in third. Chris James, first of the playoff contenders, he finishes fourth, and he is going to be headed to Homestead. Evan Longacre, of course, came in locked in. He finishes in fifth. Dakota Jorgensen finishes in sixth. He's going to be headed to Homestead. So those 3 are definitely locked in and moving on. The last spot was going to be the one that's contested. Greg Klein finishes 7th. Chad Ginningsman comes home in 8th after getting involved in a caution in the last third of the race. He is able to hang on to a nice top 10 here, and I believe he is going to be advancing. Hopefully Race Control can verify that for us. And thank you, Cronola, for the follow. Appreciate you tuning in here and supporting us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. But Chad Ginningsman finishing in 8th. I think he is going to be moving on to Homestead. So once again, we'll need to verify that with the with Race Control. Hopefully they have made that announcement. Not totally sure yet. Aaron Tyner finishes in 9th, and Zachary Smith will round out the top 10 here. Roger Gregory finishes in 11th. Stephen Parks comes home in 12th position. Cole Hooper finishes 13th. 14th was Hilton Young. 15th was Josh Schofield. 16th, Tyler White. And first car off the lead lap was Kevin Roy in 17th. Jeffrey Meyer finishes in 18th. Jake Sylvia finishes 19th. And Grayson Sullivan, the other playoff contender who had a shot at it, finishes in the 20th position. I think he's going to be eliminated here. Just a few points separating him and Chad Ginningsman. And I think that early incident too much to overcome here as he was 28 laps down. Zach Adams finishes in the 21st position. Tim Rivers finishes 22nd. Craig Hawkins, 23rd. Casey Flegel, 24th. Jeremy Ogle, 25th. Brandon Machieski finishing in 26th. And Charles Hager rounds out the starters in 27th. The bottom three there were your race admins tonight. It did not take to the grid, so Cole Williams stealing this one away. And I just got confirmation the final four are Evan Longacre, Chris James, Dakota Jorgensen, and Chad Genningsman. That is going to be the four competing for the championship at Homestead. It's going to be a good one, and you won't want to miss it. It'll be right here on V-Speed next Friday night, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But once again, want to give our shout-outs to the sponsors here tonight. That is Rapid Fire Pizza, as well as Shorba's Racing Graphics, and also Alpha Ornamental Metals for sponsoring this league, and then all the other sponsors that make this possible. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, we are live here multiple times throughout the week, so consider following or subscribing to stay notified of when we're going live. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post race replays about a week after we are live on this platform. We also broadcast over there sometimes on Monday nights for the Ford Entertainment Group series, and we should be coming back with their winter series over there this winter. So we'll have to keep you updated on that. But you can stay notified of what we're doing throughout the week on Facebook, where we post announcements for each and every broadcast before we go live. And you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter, where we post the same announcements as well as on-site reporting and special events and new merchandise, things like that. But this was the ISM 100 for the iRacing Fantasy National Series, and we are headed to the season finale next week. So tune in then, and we will also be here tomorrow night for the Cup Series race right here at ISM as well. So you won't want to miss that, because there are 8 drivers in contention to move on there as well. I believe we have 1 or 2 locked in over there, but still going to be fighting for a few positions to make it in. So tune in tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., and we will see you then.